You want to attract a new future. You need to let go of the past, and you may not realize it, but you are holding the past within you right now, in your mind, in your body, in your energy. And until you release that and let that go, you can't move to the new future because you're a match to your past. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you how to actually release that and release the emotional addictions from the body so you can manifest a new future ASAP. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Juliet Cleary. I'm a manifestation coach. And if you like this content, make sure to give this video a thumbs up for me and subscribe and tap that bell icon to receive notifications for new videos. To work with me one-on-one or for my programs or my free audio training, that information's in the description box below for you. I'm also launching a meditation YouTube channel, okay? And I'm gonna have free meditations on there, guided meditations, also affirmation videos, how to change your beliefs on specific subjects so you manifest your desires quicker. So make sure to subscribe. The link is in the description box below. The reality that you're living right now and all the circumstances that you're experiencing and have been experiencing are a result of your emotions. Okay, so I want you to really hear this. When you think a thought and you feel an emotion with that thought, so you're thinking about something, all right? You feel an emotion with that thought, you're there. You're there. Your brain and your body believe 100% that that thing that you're thinking about is happening right now, whether it's something that's positive, that feels really good, or something like something you want or you like, or something that is negative. It could be something that you're imagining, you're worried about, something, you're worrying about the future, something you're thinking about from the present, or something you're thinking about or remembering from like 5 or 10 years ago. Your brain and your body do not know the difference between something you're imagining and something that's actually happening right now. And so we'll move into a state that matches whatever you're thinking and feeling. So anytime you're thinking about the past and you're remembering something that upset you, or you're reminded of a story, the story you're telling about your life because of something that happened to you, your brain and your body is in the past. This is what Joe Dispenza talks about, right? So your brain and your body are convinced you are experiencing that right here and now. And then you go into that stress mode. You go into, bringing out those stress hormones, the cortisol, adrenaline. You go into survival mode. You start feeling anxious or fearful, or it brings up the feelings of like insecurity or not good enough, or I'll never have that thing. Like your brain and body think you're in the past, right now. And that's why you keep recreating the same situations, the same circumstances, because it must be, right? That's where you're putting your attention and therefore your energy. And at the same time, the universe is the same way, right? It doesn't know the difference between something you're imagining and something you're living. It'll just give you more of whatever you're giving your energy to, whatever you're feeling and focusing on. So you're focusing on the past and having a feeling response. In the past could be yesterday, the past could be 20 minutes ago, or it could be 20 years ago. And you're thinking about that thing and you're feeling, the universe is going to continue to give you more of that thing that you don't like or you don't want, or more of things that would make you feel that way. Okay, so our life is based on our emotions. That's what I want you to really hear and grasp in this video. It matters what you're focusing on and how you're feeling. And it doesn't matter what the subject is or how long ago it was, right? If you're focusing on something, you're thinking a thought and you're feeling the emotion, you're there. Same thing with your future, something that you want. If you're thinking about it and you're feeling it, your brain and your body think it's real. It thinks it's happening now. And so the more you do that and you feed your energy into that, your life has to change. The circumstances in your life have to change to match how you're thinking and feeling. And so when we feel stuck like we're not moving toward what we want, and we kind of feel stuck in the now, or we just kind of feel stuck in our past, really, okay? What that means is we're stuck in the emotions of the past. That's it. That's all that's happening here, is that you're stuck in the emotions that match your past and not your future. And that's the only change you really have to make, is the emotions that you're practicing, okay? But why it feels so difficult in the beginning to release the past and to release those emotions is that we form emotional addictions. When you think a thought and you feel an emotion, when you feel that emotion, there are chemicals that are released into your body, okay? So we can become actually chemically like addicted to that emotion, or to those group of emotions, like say discouragement, powerlessness, guilt, shame, not good enough, unworthiness. We can become addicted to those, and they feel like us. They feel normal. It feels like almost comfortable. Like, it doesn't feel good, but it feels normal and comfortable because it's what we've known, it's what we've practiced, and usually since childhood. And so it just feels normal to us, even though it's not. And I'll go more into that in another video, but for this video, I want to pinpoint like exactly how you can bring up some of those stuck emotions, which are your past, and release them and start to practice new emotions that match your future. So then ultimately you shift timelines, you have to attract a new future, a new outcome. And really what it is that we are stuck in the past and recreating the past because we are stuck in the emotions of the past, okay? So here is a little bit on how to release them. Step number 1 is to pinpoint the story that you're telling around this situation. So if there's something in your life that's not changing, not improving, or you want it to go away, like you want it to be healed, or you want it to fix up, or whatever it is. So what is the story? Notice the story that you're telling around this and what the emotion is there. Like what emotional fix is this giving you? Right? Like the addiction to the emotion. What is that emotion that's there? Is it unworthiness? Is it I'm not good enough? Things don't work out for me. I'm not important. What is the emotion or a group of emotions that are there? What's the story that you're telling about this that you keep almost needing to tell so you can feel the emotions that feel like you, and validate your identity and yourself, and your life and your circumstances, and get that emotional fix. And then looking at this story that you're telling about this thing, this situation, about your life or about yourself, to then go at it with logic. Because half the time we are feeling a certain way, or we're telling a certain story about something that happened in our childhood, or maybe it was 5 years ago, or maybe it was because of this person or this trauma or this circumstance, right? And we have created a story or an identity around that. And more often than not, the story that we're telling is not true. It's not true. Most of the thoughts that you think, like if you think a thought, it doesn't make it true. You're thinking it, but it doesn't make it a truth. And half of the stories that we're telling around our life, they're not true. The next thing to do, step number 2, is to choose a habit, a more positive habit, instead of practicing the old pattern. So when that emotion comes up, or that story comes up, that thought comes up, what are you going to do instead? What can you focus on instead of practicing the old pattern, instead of going into that old story and feeding that? Create a new habit. And you only need to do that for like 21 days in order to create a new pattern. But again, it's consistency, and it's not being tempted to the dark side, or like tempted to retell that story and to feed into those old emotions of who you thought you were. The third step is that you need to feel your emotions. So a lot of spiritual teachers talk about this, and I experienced it in my own life as well. A lot of times we suppress our emotions. We're not taught how to properly feel them or understand them, what they mean, what they are, how to regulate them. And so we're kind of taught, somewhat to push them down or push them aside or run from them or whatever. So your emotions, especially the strong ones that are coming up, they need to be felt. To me, it's like little pieces of us from the past who have gone through, a trauma or something difficult, something that was maybe just pushed aside. And that emotion is a piece of you. That emotion, whether, even if it's a really strong negative one like shame or powerlessness or misery or unworthiness, I'm not good enough, that emotion needs to be seen, heard, and felt. It needs to come up. It needs to be released. So do whatever, that you need to do, whatever works for you to bring up, like when that emotion comes up, to allow it, to let it be there, to accept it, to see it and to hear it and to feel it, not to go into the story of why that was so bad. And we're not practicing the negative story or the pattern here, but we're allowing ourselves to feel that emotion with compassion, knowing that all emotions pass through and we need to allow them to come up when they need to come up, and then be released, okay? Because we don't want to suppress emotions. That makes everything worse. And we wonder why we're feeling so bad or we're feeling on edge all the time and we have no idea why. When we haven't been actually regulating our emotions, we haven't actually been self-soothing. We've just been running from the emotions and suppressing them. And the last step is to gradually let go of those old emotions. So you're feeding them less and just gently, gradually introduce better feeling emotions. Tiptoe, first get to a more neutral state, then get to better feeling emotions, right? What makes you happy? What makes you feel more grateful? Can you practice more gratitude? The answer is yes. Can you practice more appreciation? The answer is yes. Can you find the better feeling thought no matter what? Yes. Even if that better feeling thought is anger or frustration as opposed to helplessness, right? Or discouragement. So just feeling better and better and better, and then getting into more elevated states. Meditation is a great way to change your energy and to elevate your emotions. And then it's like when you get out of the meditation, you got to carry through on, feeling better, focusing in better feeling ways, practicing new emotions. Because if you practice new emotions, you're going to have a new future. You're going to have a new outcome, since this is all about your emotions. If you think and you feel something, you're there, it's happening. Okay, so how can I feel a bit better? How can I tap into what makes me feel better than usual? What lights me up? What elevates me? What brings me into alignment? Let's do more of that. Just a little bit more today and a little bit more tomorrow. Baby steps. So that is a brief guide on how to release the stuck emotions from your past, which have kept you recreating the same circumstances, all the circumstances in your life right now, the things outside of you, even in your body, physical conditions and things. All of that stuff in your 3D world, they're all indicators of your energy. They're all indicators of the emotions that you are living by. Okay, so remember that, and then gradually practice the emotions that match the reality that you want, the future that you want, and your brain and body will think you're there. And so you'll attract all the things that basically you're in that reality now. You'll be led to take the actions that get you there. You'll manifest things out of thin air that just, once seemed impossible. And most of all, have fun, right? Have more fun, be more lighthearted about this. We're all on a healing journey in a sense, right? And it's a continuous journey, and you're doing great. So if you enjoyed this video, let me know by giving me a thumbs up, commenting down below, and subscribing if you haven't already. To work with me, that information's in the description box below. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you on the next one.